Hi everyone.
Hey, Dr. Nick.
Today we're doing the 2025 year in review for Oddfud and Sea Monster YK.
oddfud.
Actually what has happened to us as people, less so as our personalities. So this is going to be like a rewind year in review. We're going to talk about what happened to us and stay tuned to the end to find out the best moments and what we're most proud of, which we haven't thought of yet.
I didn't know we were doing that.
2025 was one of the hardest years of our life.
In many ways, it was one of the hardest years.
For me, definitely. I had the most spiritual guidance. I was told what was the wrong move and what was the right move a lot along the way. Like, pretty much all year, I was being told that. In January, we had already started our YouTubes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We were finally getting back to normal after your hospital stay in 2024.
Yeah, so
Because go ahead.
I was in hospital, like late 2024, not late, mid 2024, like
July.
Is it July? I always thought it was August.
It's July.
I got back home. I spent the whole month of August recovering.
Yeah.
Because even though I was released from the hospital, I wasn't I didn't get a clean bill of health for a year, about.
Yeah.
And, a year. I didn't get a clean bill of health for a year. And I was recovering, noticeably recovering for 3 months.
Yeah. I think in October, they're like, you're pretty good. Last of October, he said you were a little hazy in your lungs. But then I think the next time you were completely clean, and that must have been April or February or something.
It wasn't a year checkup, I thought. He said I was completely clean. So it would have been maybe June.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was summer. So yeah, it was definitely hot.
Yeah, but then we, you were still physically recovering and just starting to mentally check that you had been to the hospital and lost several months of your life.
Yeah, it was really
not
weird.
Off the end, but you weren't working. There's all these things that you're you kept on being why didn't I do that this year? And I had to be you're in the hospital that year. Yeah. Remember that time of the year? Remember?
It was really weird. I guess my brain and it was a serious trauma.
Yeah.
There's no way around that. But I guess my brain was just don't even worry about this. You don't have to remember this at all.
Yeah.
And just sort of unless I'm actively thinking about it, I was also very sick leading up to going to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So that whole time period leading up to it, the hospital stay and the 2 months, 6 weeks of serious recovery before I was able to walk around normally and stuff.
Yeah, and
it's gone.
Function, carry things and all that. And then the mental part of it. The mental part for me was different. Having your spouse go to ICU.
I think worse.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll never know, right?
Yeah,
but it's
God.
Yeah, hopefully, right? Yeah, we'll definitely. I definitely thought I was getting better. We had our reunion, our 20-year reunion in November. We were socializing, we were talking to our friends, and I was I think I'm getting better. I think mentally I'm okay. But I was still listening to you sleep and watching you sleep and stuff and making sure that your lungs were filling. And so that's not I didn't want to be doing that, and I was spending a lot of time doing that. After 2020 and we moved back in with my parents, and I was really leaning on them. And I think after your hospital stay, I was leaning on them even more. I wasn't able to function a lot. There's a lot of things that I wasn't able to mentally do.
Mm-hmm.
And that was starting to, I felt it more. I felt I needed their help more. Especially my mom.
Yeah, I think you do, right? That's what we're told you should be doing. Leaning on your family in times of trouble, in times of need. That's one of the that's what makes a family family.
Yeah, so that's what was happening in January. That's what 2024 ended and 2025 started
Yeah,
with.
that's the beginning of our 2025 is being like, I think maybe I'm gonna be okay. Like really, that's
Right.
yeah,
And then we don't really have to dwell on this too much, but the commander in chief changed, and that was like a scary time, and we that's happened to everyone. So we don't really have to talk about that too much.
My personal experience was just like it created. I was already so sick, and even though I was mostly recovered at that point, the idea that
You weren't going to be taken care of.
I wouldn't be able to continue to get the help I needed, the inhalers that I used, stuff like that was forefront. I do think there was a lot of like fear-focused news at the time. I think that's what sold papers, and I fell victim to that. Yeah. So that was really hard, and took me a few weeks or maybe even months to like feel okay in the new reality of the situation.
Right. So then in February, I was like, I need to reset. And I was like, I'm going to redo my craft room and make it so that I can do my crafting for the craft fairs and for Etsy, and like I can just do it. And I need to make my craft room as sustainable, seamless, and like so I can just go in there and do my work, because that's what I was focusing my work on. And so I started doing that. If we go back to when you were sick going into the hospital, we were told that we were not going to move house.
Right.
Because we lived with my parents. They were like, we want to stay. And we don't want to sell. Right. It wasn't exactly what was happening. And
behind the scenes, it was different, but this is what we were told.
So then in February, I started to get like little inklings of, we are going to have to leave the house, my childhood home. And I started to get like really scared about that and really upset. That was my February. You remember anything else about February?
I was just looking at my camera reel because I take lots of pictures. That's how I remember stuff. It is your desk being pretty.
Yeah, because I like all of my energy was thrown into making my craft room right.
You know what I think for me? I'm back outside at the end of January here. I see myself beachcombing and stuff, which I had not been doing for a while.
Yeah. Thank goodness you got back to beachcombing.
Yeah.
That was really important for your mental, physical, spiritual, all of your healths.
Yeah. I'm walking, I'm taking photos. Before this, I don't have any of my camera reel, my normal camera reel. And then after, and then starting in January, I do. We have some of the tarot,
Yeah, I think in February you really start thinking about like, what do I want to focus my time on?
And then in January, that's when I started doing Sea Monster YK shorts. Because we'd done a couple late December, or December. We'd done like a potatoes one, and I had done one about you being Santa.
Right.
Eating Santa's cookie.
Yeah.
And then I started doing art shorts in January. I can't believe art shorts are this year.
Yeah.
I started talking about Left on Red games with my buddy Carl. We thought like maybe if we could do 2 days a week, building a video game together, doing the art, and he could do the programming. I could teach him, and then he could do the programming.
Yeah.
That would be a real that it was like a possibility that we could do that, and it would be fun. So I started working on some concept art for that.
We were both getting really comfortable with YouTube, and we thought like this would be a good like devlog kind of thing. So that's what I have for you in March. You really started developing Left on Red and the game that you were doing on Left on Red.
Yeah, so then we were doing programming and stuff, or I was doing programming and stuff when we were actually starting to build a little game. which I'd love to get back to.
Yeah. Then in March for me, we were both in an art show. I sold my first art piece. Woo. And I started listening to audiobooks, thinking about habits, thinking about my relationship with habits, and just working, like making my craft room a really good place to work was uh, like the manifestation of like having those good habits and like working on my dopamine. That was like something I was starting to do, working on my dopamine, working on my what's the other one, serotonin, and my endorphins, and like trying to focus on that a little bit more.
The end of March when my medication switched over, and I started getting what I think is the adequate and proper treatment for my obsessive disorder and for my ADHD symptoms. We're not sure if I have ADHD, but I do have the symptoms.
Yeah, you definitely have the symptoms.
So we started treating that.
Yeah, so then
I put my rainbow heart, I don't know where it is, but I put my rainbow heart in an art show for the first time. I was willing to sell it.
Yeah.
It didn't sell, but I was happy. I framed it and put it in, and
now it will definitely sell here.
Yeah, and it looks great. I love this piece. We have merch and stuff like that. We talked about it before, but yeah.
So then in April we had another craft fair, the spring craft fair, that was successful in a way that was less so the amount of money that we had, but it started to be like, this is just what we do. It wasn't like every time we had a craft fair, like we were scrambling and everything, and it wasn't like we were...
yeah, it was the first time it felt like, oh, this is a job.
Yeah, and like, we weren't in like a financial dire straits. So it was like really nice to like just do the craft fair like it was our job.
The big difference for me on that was before on different craft fairs, I would like come up with new craft ideas and be like, this is what I'm going to do this time, and like sort of make it sort of like an art show. But this time I was like, oh, I have work. I'm going to make sure I have stock of all the stuff I normally have and that I sell.
Yeah.
And that's it. I'm not going to try to create anything new. I'm not trying to come up with any fancy ideas. I was doing 2 days a week now really solidly. We're recording videos for Left on Red. We'd started recording. We didn't start uploading them for a little while.
Yeah. Well, in April you did upload your first video.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, I thought we were on the end of March. No. Right. April. Yeah.
And then... do you have anything else for April?
I was looking at March again. Hang on. I'm so far behind.
March, so April, if you actually... These are on... I never re-uploaded them here on oddfud, but on Sea Monster YK, we had a couple of weekly vlogs, and it was all basically revolving around getting Left on Red up and running. Yeah. And that was another YouTube channel that we had. Just a third, fourth, fifth YouTube channel that we had.
It's silly. I mean, listen, I love the idea, and I think if we could have gotten maybe one other person or a better division of labor, I would still be working on Left on Red.
Or if we didn't move. Yeah.
But as we were moving, Sea Monster YK just started actually feeling like it was going going and so I just...
Yeah, he had to make the difficult decision of, like, what, like, the amount of work I'm putting in and the amount of, whatever, fill in the blank that I'm getting out, what's getting more. And even though Left on Red, you were getting a lot out of, like, creatively, and, like, it was... lighting a spark in you, it wasn't the same. It wasn't like anywhere close to Sea Monster YK.
Yeah. Sea Monster YK I love. It doesn't... I can do it and do it and do it and do it and do it, and I never feel burnt out at all. But it doesn't... I love programming in a way that like maybe is unhealthy, and working on video games and stuff like that. It's something I've always done as a hobby. And so to do it and treat it like a job felt great, but I wasn't getting much out of it, and I do get burnt out on it. I get burnt out on it really fast. Whereas like working on Sea Monster YK, I could go like forever. I think like it's just
Yeah.
really wonderful. I had something else. Oh, and we started the Etsy.
Not
April. Oh well, I took all the photos to start the Etsy.
Yeah. In April, that is when we learned that my parents bought a house.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to be moving, and it's also, and then, so we learned that first. So we did not know what was going to happen with our housing situation. But by the end of April, we were asked to move in with them. My mom asked us to move in with them.
Gosh, that's April. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then we had not quite agreed yet, but we said we were thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
We said we really appreciate the offer. We're going to have to think about it.
And that was not made by your parents.
What was not made?
The offer.
The offer was made by my parents.
Oh, okay, it was.
Well, it like my brother said, come to Rochester.
Mm-hmm.
And like he was trying to play nice, but you'll see later on that it was not very nice because like all this stuff was happening like without us being told. Like all this stuff was like a lot of, like they kept on like feigning the idea that they were telling us and involving us, but they weren't.
Right.
Because like we weren't quote unquote playing by their rules. May.
I don't even know if that's true. So May we had a another art show. So I put in a raccoon.
Yeah, and
What did you put in? I didn't see it.
I put in my mushrooms.
Your
May
mushroom sold, right? Or
no, I still have my mushroom. May was Sketch a Day May.
And then I did Sketch Day May. Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah, on Sea Monster YK.
So that was I don't know if it was my first live stream on Sea Monster YK, but it was my first group of live streams on Sea Monster YK.
Yeah.
And I did every day in May, maybe spare two. I did a sketch a day.
No, every day in May.
Was it every day in May?
Yeah.
Every day in May I did a sketch a day on the live stream. These were about half an hour. I did almost always did an animal with some sort of human accoutrement. At the time I had just finished a series before I got into the hospital, I think.
Yeah.
I had just done a series of animals in hats.
Right.
And this was the first time since I had been out of the hospital that I was like returning to that style of sketching. So I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for Sketch a Day May.
Yeah, and this whole time we were like working on Sea Monster YK like with a cat with like a cat toy. We were kind of like
I was making
like,
shorts,
pushing it around and like trying to figure out what was working, what was working for us. And like we were trying art procrastination.
Oh, that's right.
In June, which is coming up, we're gonna try doing some Married High
So
School.
this is like the first time, like this is when Sea Monster YK started to shift over.
Yeah. We were trying Married High School Sweethearts also, and like we were trying more things like that. And then we were like, Sea Monster YK should be a drawing stream. Like we always thought that. We were like, this is what it should be. You're good at it.
Yeah.
It's what's gonna make you comfortable. But you're not comfortable with it yet. So I was like, just do it every single day.
Yeah, so we have been doing videos like this, almost exactly like this, for Sea Monster YK. And to get comfortable doing this, we did Vlogtober. So I was just on camera doing this every day for a month. And so then we had been getting success with the shorts, the drawing shorts. And so we wanted to get me comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
I forgot. We had done a lot of video. We moved all that content, either stuff that we were proud of is actually now on this channel, and stuff that we and then that's in future when we make that kind of art procrastination or Married High School Sweethearts, we're putting it on this channel.
Yeah, so I have a playlist called Married High School Sweethearts, the vlogs, the Vlogtober, the Vlogmas. That's all on this channel. You're going to continue to see that. But if you want to see more drawing content, then you will hop over to Sea Monster YK.
If you want to watch this hand for an inordinate amount of time.
But also, I'm going to start putting up the Stella Steffies.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
On oddfud also.
I almost said we should start a new channel for that. I'm so happy that we didn't.
I was going to. I started one, actually.
Yeah,
but
it's I think it. Yeah. No, this is what we do.
So then in June, we also, you continued streaming. You were doing more illustrations. You were doing Blub Blub. You were doing Aphantasia, Tries Drawing. You were doing prepping for fair. Like you were coloring some of your Sketchaday maze. We started an Etsy. That's when we officially started the Etsy.
Okay.
And that's when we seriously started packing to move, because we were told we were going to move in sometime in July, sometime in the end of the summer, where like
That's right.
we had said when we were talking to my mom in February, like we have to stay until the end of the year. We have plans for it. And then somewhere along the line, they pushed it back to the end of the summer, even though we're like, we still have a job here.
It wasn't even, and it was July. It was before August 1st was the rule.
But we put our foot down and we're like, we have to at least stay until Labor Day.
Mm-hmm.
So, but at least then we started packing so that like we could start moving our stuff over to Rochester. July, we had our first big 2-day craft fair.
And we actually like made a very decent amount of money.
Yeah, I was successful and I was actualized during this craft fair. This was when I was like meeting people who liked my stuff. I was like, I found my audience.
So this is like, that was our second year doing craft fairs, or it was going on to our third year doing craft fairs.
Yeah.
And like, had Fatima sold some of her junk journals? Like,
some of them,
but
like
not
random.
Had not gotten a lot of excitement about it. And so at the time, and I think this happens to lots of people, she was like, I'll give them away. Let's bring it down even more in price. And
especially because we were moving.
Yeah, and it's so tempting. And I was like, you can't. Should she? No, you can't. And
yeah, but I kind of did.
Yeah, you know what you did is you gave if you bought more, you got a discount, which is different than bringing it down in price, because we do want to move them, because we didn't want to carry them. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm so happy because the people who showed up to this craft fair they thought it was cheap. They were so excited. They were more than happy to pay what we were asking. Literally more than happy.
Yeah, like, it was definitely like, I need to find the right people. And like, I was thinking like the only way I can find the right people is online. That's why I had started the Etsy. The Etsy is coming back up. We're going to put the Etsy back up.
Yeah, we're going to put some greeting cards and stuff up on there.
Yeah, you have to do your Etsy work before we put the Etsy store up. So if you guys are really wanting my Etsy store up, bother Sea Monster YK about it.
I have a Discord. You can bother me there. It bothers me, so I might actually do it.
But then in July, that's when we had our Zoom meeting, which was like the real turning point of our year.
Yeah, so already we were like, it was really stressful that we were going to have to move, and there was like, we were getting mixed signals or mixed messages.
I was unhappy.
Yeah, Fatima had a real struggle, mental health struggle with this whole situation.
Yeah, I was being not abused, but definitely I wasn't being listened to. I was being triggered. I was having trauma, and I was getting a lot of signs and gut feelings that were telling me not to move to Rochester.
I think this is when we did a reading. It was very clear that we weren't to move.
Yeah, a decision oracle reading, basically like a tarot reading that splits into two and tells you what will happen if one, what will happen if the other. We did one column was if we move to Rochester and one column was if we don't. But like in our hearts, we were always wanting to move to Kingston.
Yeah, for forever. Yeah.
The card we got on Rochester was isolation. The card we got on Kingston was growth.
Yeah.
So I was like, we can't not listen to this. But like with my mom, and like my mom was also dealing with some trauma and abuse and
People not listening to her.
people not listening to her.
It was,
And I was like, I don't want to leave my mom alone.
and she asked us to live there.
Yeah, and I said, you say the word, we will come.
Yeah.
And she said,
yeah.
She said the word. And we were like, okay, we're coming, and this sucks, but we're going to make it work.
Yeah.
We started implementing pros only.
Mm-hmm.
We are moving. We made the decision to move. We're going to do this with my mom. And we started implementing pros only. If we thought about cons, we just shelved it.
Yeah, put them aside. You deal with the cons when you get there. If you're already going, and the choice is made.
Mm-hmm.
Start looking up the things that are good about that place. So when you get there, you can start doing the good things right away.
Yeah, and
the problems are going to be problems no matter when you find out about them.
Yeah, so there are good things in Rochester. There's the Museum of Play.
Mm-hmm.
There's So Green, which is a creative reuse sewing store, which I was very excited to start volunteering at.
There's a lot of good local butchers and produce.
Mm-hmm. There's farming, there's dairies, there's CSAs.
Mm-hmm. They play the church bells, they play the Oxford quarters.
Yeah.
Which I love.
And we would be close to my nephew and my mom.
Yeah, and then we would see all the nieces and nephews because they would go visit grandma.
Closer to my sisters, and
we miss seeing them.
Yeah,
but we see them a little bit now.
Yeah, and before that, like I had been having, because I was having such a big mental health thing, I had stopped talking to my brothers and sisters as much. On my end, it was a little bit because like they always like controlled how we spoke, and like other people controlled like the conversation all the time, and I could not be around that, and it would make me suicidal if I was in those situations. So I stepped away from that, and then I less so talked to them one-on-one because I knew they couldn't help me and it would be too painful to put them through that.
Yeah, this is one of the hardest parts of when you're having serious mental health problems. I've been relatively stable for a long time with my obsessive disorder, but not in my 20s. I was really miserable and so I have experience. And it's one of the hardest things. If I tell this person what I'm going through, they are just going to be like, oh, and not really have any.
Yeah, like help. I know them well enough to know that they don't have the chops to help me, and that's okay. Like they shouldn't.
Yeah, that's
they shouldn't.
Right,
that's not their job.
Yeah,
right?
I'm not saying like how terrible that is for. Like,
but like asking someone for help and then them not being able to help, that's only going to hurt everyone. And so I stepped away from talking to them, and then that also meant that I didn't really talk to anyone at all.
Yeah, it's one of the most common and like quietly terrible symptoms of depression. Is self-isolation.
And so like getting that isolation card, even if we were to move in with my parents, which like meant that we would see more family, like having that isolation card really shows that like that wasn't going to be healed just by us moving there.
Yeah. So
even though we kind of needed the help.
Yes. Yeah. We really needed the help, and like we are still getting a little bit of help. So
then the Zoom meeting. Like this is getting to be a long video.
Yeah, so let's
like
I was like, I didn't think we were going to talk about.
Yeah, we'll gloss over the Zoom meeting, but basically we were asked not to come.
So then we did Strawberry Festival.
Oh yeah, the Strawberry Festival.
So every year, you must know this. I mean, or maybe you're figuring it out right now.
We take an anniversary picture every year.
And we dress up.
And this year we dressed up as strawberries, so that was very fun.
And we went to the Strawberry Festival because it was on our anniversary.
Yeah, and like we knew we were winding down living in that town. I had gone to the Strawberry Festival a lot of times. Most notably the day after the wedding, our wedding.
Yeah.
I went to the strawberry festival.
So great.
And so it was always around our anniversary, and it was just a really good time.
Yeah, so
And it's at the
same
venue.
chapel that we got married at. Yeah, which is so neat.
Yeah.
So we went dressed as strawberries. We were the belle of the ball.
Yeah.
Everybody was taking pictures with us.
Yeah, the kids loved us.
People
the
thought
old
we were
ladies
hired.
loved us. Yeah.
Oh, we also had a bunch of strawberry balloons.
Yeah.
We gave them away, and people were like Mr. and Mrs. Strawberry. It was a really fun moment. Our niece took a bunch of photos of it. It was really great.
Yeah. So that was a great, definitely one of the highlights.
Highlights of the year, for sure.
Because I love our town. I love growing up where we grew up. But yeah, so in the Zoom meeting, we were asked not to come, not to live with my parents, not by my parents, but by my brother. And that night, we decided we cannot go there because of the oppression that we were feeling from my brother. And then in the next couple of weeks, I applied and got a job here in Kingston.
Yeah, it was a really interesting. I was looking through the notes. We're in July, I guess, right?
Yeah, July, August.
Yeah, it was a really interesting. We were working a lot because this is when we had that 2-day craft fair, our first 2-day craft fair. And we weren't doing new stuff, but again, we were getting all of our stock ready. There's a lot of preparation, even when you're not making new.
Yeah, and I was making new.
And that's right, you were making new.
For July, yeah.
And then we were packing for your parents, which I don't think we've mentioned yet.
And we were packing for ourselves, and we were packing for my parents.
Yeah, we were packing Fatima's parents to move. They weren't. I mean, they were doing a little bit of packing their clothes and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it was our full-time job for June, July, and August.
Yeah, we were packing 6 to 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that was what we were doing. We were really also it was extremely stressful for my parents to move too. So we were having to also field that and making sure that they stayed on track, didn't get overwhelmed, and didn't hear. I'm one of 7 kids, and hearing all of their voices yapping at them about what they should do and how they should pack and what they should move and what's the best thing to do. It was driving them crazy.
Yeah.
And we lived with them. We had to deal with all of that.
Yeah, it was really hard.
And it's a thankless job. But then I applied in August, I applied to this job. I started talking to the higher ups, the high people at Luxottica. And I was like, this is my situation. I haven't been working for a while, but I'm very familiar with Luxottica. And I don't want to work every day, and this is where I want to work. This is where I want to live. And
they were like, bet.
They were like, thank God.
Yeah.
This is exactly what we need.
In the background of all of this, since I think late June or the first week of July, we had been doing trivia, local pub trivia. And winning. We won, at this point, we had won, I think, all of them.
Yeah. We always, pop in and do some trivia.
Yeah.
And we were doing a lot of trivia in April also, but then, we really started in July.
Yeah, we got, a team, another couple, good friends of ours, and we just started going every week.
And we were winning.
We started winning every week.
We were winning every week. Winning or getting we got second a couple of times.
I think we started getting second a couple of times, in August. Is that where we are? August. So we even through the craft fairs, and then August we did a second 2-day craft fair. And
it was awesome. Yeah, I have a video about that too.
Yeah, I don't think it was quite as profitable, but it was profitable.
And it was basically the same.
Yeah, and it was basically
the same as profitable.
And I took a lot of my sketch-a-day maze and turn them into greeting cards and posters and stuff for this craft fair, and that got a really great reception. And your stuff still was getting a good reception.
Yeah. Yeah, and still like equally actualizing for me as a craftsperson.
Yeah.
We were starting to get very nostalgic in August. The warm weather, the tourist season was coming to a close, and it was like our last tourist season that we were going to have to like endure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
it's weird. There's lots of traffic. Usually the summer season is, if you're a local, it can feel really stifling and miserable because for example, a drive that takes 8 minutes can take upwards of 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And it can feel like, why do I live here?
Why do I keep doing this to myself? So like, it was bittersweet. It was very bittersweet. And we're like, we kept on, I kept on saying like, we can't stay until the fall here because I'm going to forget that this is like this in the summer, because that's the cycle of living in a tourist place. Like, it's like a whirlwind, terrible all through the summer, and then
fall and winter,
and then it's like September 19th, and you're like, this is the most beautiful place on the planet,
and nobody's here. And this is also within those couple of months of summers when I got my driver's license again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. When was that?
It's not in here.
So you got your driver's license, and then
I had a driver's license for a very long time, and then let it expire for a couple of years, and then when I tried to renew it, they were like, no.
Yeah, that must have been in May when you got it, so that was great. So it made it a lot easier for us to like go out and see the places that we wanted to like see one last time before we left.
We started apartment hunting.
Yeah. So like I came to interview at the place that I wanted to work, and then we're like, since we're going up there, let's look at apartments too.
Yeah, we basically should at least put in the groundwork and see what we know and like figure stuff out. But like, really, if we could get some place to rent, for starting October, we should probably do that. Yeah, we were getting a lot of pressure to not be where we were.
Yeah. To move earlier, and we're like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. Even though we do have work until the end of the year, like I've been saying the whole year.
Yeah, we just got back last week.
We decided to take the jump.
Yeah.
We found this place. We said we wanted to move here.
And we did, yeah. So that trip was really interesting. We drove up with a friend, Carl, who we were working with on Left on Red, and we did the apartment hunting. It was wonderful. We only found 2 places because it was only supposed to be a preliminary.
Yeah.
And we were like, maybe we'll get one of these. That's great. Probably not. And then we just really loved this one.
Yeah. And really, really loved the location, like, so much.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know how much we were going to love the location.
Yeah.
Now, like, I'm still kind of looking around because friends of ours might want to move up, and, like, we might need to get, like, a studio space. So I'm still kind of looking at places, and, like...
It's always better if we can get in a 2-bedroom with somebody else, like... Yeah. That could be a real financial load off.
Yeah, but I'm like seeing things that are like even a couple blocks away, and I'm like, oh, it's too far away.
Yeah, this is one of the best locations in the city. Yeah. It's a miracle of coincidence that we got this place, because it became available to look at, I think, the day before we came up on the trip.
Yeah.
And and I think we were the first people to look at it. And we said, yes, please, we'll have it. And they were like, well, but a few weeks later, we did end up getting it. Or almost a month later, they did tell us we would have it.
Yeah, and so that was great. And then you started to do your solar punk robots, and you started to do, maybe not quite yet, but then you started to do like your request streams, your late night streams.
Yeah, not quite yet, but yeah. Those are all...
It was bubbling. Like, we could tell in September you were starting to, like, really pick up.
Yeah.
On Sea Monster YK with the streams, and, like, we had people come back. Like,
Yeah, we started having people come back. We started having people like
subscribe, ring the bell to be notified. They were doing that.
Yeah, people
like,
were getting notified. I would log on. I would start a live, and the same couple of people would show up. And if you're watching, hey, thanks for being here.
And thanks for coming over to oddfud.
It's huge.
I've seen you in the last couple of weeks.
It's such a pleasure to interact with you guys, girls and non-binary pearls. We also did a trip. We stopped in Cooperstown, because we had a place to stay. So on that trip, when we looked at the apartments and everything, we stopped in Cooperstown, and we were just there for literally we got there at like 9 o'clock at night. Woke up the next morning, cleaned up, and we
were there for like 12, 15 hours. Yeah,
and it was a really nice trip. We took a lot of photos. We decided we didn't have any other places to look at. We weren't sure what was going to happen, but we said, let's not rush back to Kingston and try to look at more apartments and everything. Let's have a nice leisurely morning and early afternoon in Cooperstown. We needed it. We had not decompressed in quite a long time.
Yeah, we were in like survival mode for a long time, and like being on our own outside of my family, frankly, outside of their realm. It was really nice to like not think about that.
Yeah, and great little trip.
Yeah,
single day trip. We didn't do any of the touristy stuff. Well, that's not true.
We did go to one touristy stuff.
We did go to one of the diners. Yeah, well, we did like sightseeing stuff. I don't think we did like the tourist stuff. Although we did go to one diner where a lot of the patrons were dressed in baseball uniforms.
Yeah, we felt very connected to this town and to the cabin. So I'm excited to spend more time there. And it's really nice that we are invited to stay there.
Yeah, a good friend of ours. It's a family friend of mine owns the cabin. And so we've been...
Yeah, our chosen family.
Yeah.
And like they're just open arms. Open door policy for us, basically,
which is great.
So then in October we did Vlogtober, so you can see all of the shenanigans we did there. But like we went to a wedding, we got our car.
Now this is when I started doing live streams and request streams.
Yeah, for real. This is when you started to do like.
On the wedding, I had been doing a couple of live streams on the computer, mostly doing these drawing and computer live streams, just like 2 or 3 a week. And we were traveling, and then we went to a wedding, and like we were going to move, and I just had not been able to do any live streams. I guess we'd already moved. We glossed over that.
Yeah,
October 1st, we moved all of our stuff into the apartment.
Yeah.
And that's enough said about that.
Yeah.
It was an adventure.
Yeah. Because you can go back and watch all of Vlogtober if you want to.
That's true. There was a tire. We saw a tire blow out directly in front of us.
Yeah, you can see the playlist of our Vlogtober.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
But yeah, so that's when we were on the wedding trip, and I was like, I think I can just live stream now.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't even know what I'm going to draw. And I started getting requests, and I started drawing requests. Maybe not that one, but within that time period. Because basically we were going to be traveling more than we would have been home for the next 6 or 7 weeks.
But we didn't know it.
But I was like, I'm just going to...
Yeah, I can't not stream.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So
I'd rather do this than anything else.
Yeah. So I streamed from the road, and that's the first time I streamed from the road was in October, and it has served me really well.
Yeah, so then when we were at my parents' new house in Rochester, we had to stay there for a while to help them, and then also to get the car, and also just around the time of the wedding. That's when you started doing late night streams also.
Yeah,
those are very fun, like a little bit off beat.
Yeah, off message.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so we were doing Vlogtober, and we were doing all this other stuff, and I was like, I still want to stream, but I do not have the energy. / it's 10 p.m. My streams are usually like much early afternoon, or late afternoon. So yeah, late night stream, and I was like, I'm just gonna draw weirdo stuff. I'm a weirdo. I usually draw weirdo stuff.
Doing the shorts on Sea Monster YK was like the kind of shorts that you're doing, like you didn't have the time or bandwidth to do that.
At the time, no,
And
yeah, correct.
so doing the streams was a way to kind of generate things to make the shorts a little bit easier. And we figured out different ways that we can make shorts for Sea Monster YK, and I think that was really important.
Yeah.
For that, so that you can continue having shorts come out.
Yeah, although we haven't done that in a while. That's something.
Yeah, but it's Christmas, so it's okay. So October was really big for you.
Yeah, and that's, I think I got a jump up. That's, I think, when I hit 500 subscribers.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of stuff happened.
Then in November, I started working at Lens Crafters. And I didn't even talk about like all of the mental struggle that goes into starting as a professional again after having a long hiatus. I promise you I'm going to do a whole video about that. That's just dedicated to just that. And so I started working there. And then at the end we had our Thanksgiving, and we went back to do our like little bit of work back at home.
Yeah, had Thanksgiving with our nephew. And then during this, I think the end of October, beginning of November, I was like, I want to start taking care of my hair in like a better, new way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think being here, being among other people who are similar to us in aesthetic,
there's like a weird kid that works at the coffee shop who like has the same hairstyle.
Yeah, long
as me.
hair, awesome.
Yeah, and just chill attitude. And I was like, oh, okay, like that's who I am. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and I think also us being alone, just living on our own together, we're having to develop that again because we lived alone together before. But it's been a while. So, like, we had to develop that again, and we're still working on that. But I think that really, like, sparked a different thing between us.
What might be confused is, like, we also have more time. Even though I'm working more on the Sea Monster YK, and we are still doing a lot of unpacking and figuring out the house.
Yeah,
and you're literally working.
Yeah.
And also figuring out the house and unpacking. And then we're traveling, which we didn't have a car. We got a car this year. And we're traveling a lot more. And doing all our own grocery shopping. So we've increased in that way, but we're not taking care of Fatima's parents.
Yeah.
Which I didn't even realize, like, how constant that was.
Yeah. Like,
even if it wasn't hard, it was constant.
Yeah, we didn't realize how overwrought we were with that. But
listen,
like I
would do it again in a
second.
we
would do it. If they needed us, we would do it.
But
like, definitely, obviously.
Yeah,
but it, like, even when we were at their house now, like, we had to do a lot of stuff for them, and it was challenging because I was also still having to deal with all that trauma and stuff.
And it's just so interesting how, like, we have more time now, even though it feels like we're so much busier.
Yeah, and I'm feeling more connected to you. I think. So,
same.
So, like, I can't wait until, like, the unpacking is actually done, and then, like, we'll have even more time. It'll be crazy.
Yeah. So then December, and speaking of being more connected, I think it's really interesting. The last time we lived alone together, the end of that was a year after COVID. So COVID happened, and we self-isolated for almost a year.
Yeah.
And lived alone together.
Yeah, for like 8 months, and like we hardly saw other people.
And we were having struggles, right? Like I had untreated obsessive disorder and ADHD symptoms.
I ate too much garlic.
Even though we lived together for like 6-7 years at that point, I didn't feel like we understood the division of labor and the, like, we were still like figuring out where we could work next to each other, around each other, with each other.
Yeah.
Like who needed space when, and so.
Yeah, so it wasn't really, I know I just interrupted you.
No, you're good.
But it wasn't really until we even at my parents' house, at like where we were all living, like we started to really be able to work together in a way that we hadn't been able to before. And it's so much due to our medications that we're taking.
Yeah, definitely, and the hard work, because when we moved in with your parents, this was a conversation we had been having for quite a long time.
Yeah.
And we were like, we need to figure this out. We have the space and the time. We need to figure out how we can, instead of working around each other or working parallel, how we can work together.
Yeah.
And yeah, even if we're working on completely different projects, we can still work together.
That's why like making my craft room was such an important thing at the beginning of this year. And like it sucks that I don't get to use the craft room that I was working on, but it has really helped us get to a mental point where like we kind of know how we can make it work, even in a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment. Like it was a 9-bedroom, 9-bathroom house that we lived in with a big backyard, a deck, and everything.
Yeah.
We were only like able and allowed to use. Yeah.
2-bedroom, 2-bath.
But we still we had a lot more space.
It was interesting because we were so close to Fatima's parents, and like you don't think about how much that affects you.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe you did. I didn't. Like, maybe you would.
I did because of the trauma I was having from having to hear my parents yell at each other.
They did yell a lot.
But like also them cooking all the time. Like, can I go down and make myself breakfast right now? Like that was a big problem, and like it didn't get solved in the way that I would have liked it to have been resolved. But like us needing to actually move to a different apartment is what happened, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's still a little sad. Yeah, but it's good.
Yeah, so then in December we had 2, like, you can also see our whole Vlogmas for December, but we had 2 craft fairs, and we got a lot of work done. We got back here, and we're starting to realize and actualize what it is to live here.
I think this is our 7th week living in the apartment. Not consecutively, but actually being in the apartment. So not that long.
So we're still getting our sea legs.
Yeah.
Right? Our river legs.
And then
that's our year. So what's your highlight of the year? What's your best moment or most proud thing?
Best moment or most proud.
Oh, I do want to say one thing. Your Sea Monster YK subscribers increased by 10.5-fold.
Yeah.
In 2025.
Yeah. It's...
So I imagine that's one of your most proud things.
Definitely. Like, I have both moved in the direction that I'm being pulled by Sea Monster YK, and stayed more or less on the path that I want to continue on. But I think my most proud, that's way up there. That's a huge highlight, and I'm so grateful. But my most proud, I think, is not only did I start driving again after quite a long time, but I have done some insane drives with while keeping my cool.
Serious driving.
Yeah. I used to be so stressed out by driving, or by like my partner being really upset, or not, like kind of spinning out of control, that it would shut me down. And sometimes I would yell, and sometimes I would just like leave. And this was a struggle I've had my whole life.
Yeah, like, this is the obsessive disorder. It doesn't sound like the Hollywood OCD, but like this is what obsessive disorder is. Yeah. There's a bunch of different things, but this one is mine. This year I have been able to do these things and keep a calm head. Like when we found out, literally weeks before we were supposed to move, after we had packed a lot of our stuff into the truck to move it, when we found out that was no longer going to happen, any other time in my life, I'm just shutting down. I'm like, oh, it's the end of the world. Yeah. And I didn't. I was the one who kept my cool, kept my calm, and said, like, we're going to keep moving forward. There's no other way to move. We got this. And
I'm really proud of that, of those moments, especially right in the first couple of days when we found out. Like,
Yeah.
I felt hopeless, like I had so many times before, and at the same time, like trusting in ourselves and the universe and
Yeah.
God and our abilities and the people who love us, and
Yeah.
scary, but I felt that's my most proud, I think.
Trust was my focus word of 2025, which I chose before I knew any of this was going to happen.
Yeah.
And I think that it really helped me through.
I remember you, during that time period, I remember you talking about trust being your focus word.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, it really...
Yeah, I think my proudest thing has to be going back to optometry. I was so scared for so long. I had a lot of negative emotions about it. And just with all the therapy that I did, my therapy was very focused on this at the beginning. The end result of that was do not work in a place in a way that you cannot live with yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's good advice for everybody.
If I keep on doing that, I'm going to be okay. And that is how I'm continuing on with this. And so I think that's the proudest thing, that I'm actually implementing my therapy in such a strong way. And I'm doing something that I'm totally capable of. And also helping us as a family. And
yeah.
Not having a paycheck for so long was very hard on me as a person. So that's definitely my most proud. But my highlight was the girls, especially the girls who came up to me at my craft fair stand, and they were like, this is exactly me. And like there was a girl who looked at every single one.
Yeah.
And every single journal that I made, and like that was it. That was the highlight for sure.
Yeah, when I look forward into doing craft fairs and stuff, I think about these days, and these are like long days, right? They're 10 hours or something. You're sitting doing retail, which is like really annoying, but you're doing retail for your own stuff, and so that helps a little bit. Yeah, it's a lot of hard work, but it's really rewarding and really fun. When I look forward to thinking about the craft fairs, I'm like, oh man, that's a hard job. I can't wait to do it.
Like the primatologist who was like,
yes,
that tarsier is amazing. Like that was so great.
Yeah, we had somebody who had studied tarsiers in the Philippines see an illustration I've done of tarsier.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh my God, they bought all the cards. They were going to send them to their primatologist friends. This year was the first year on even some of my older drawings, like from the year before, but this year was the first year where I really started to believe people when they said like, oh, you're really good at this. Like, oh, you draw so good and so fast. For whatever reason, I did not believe when people said that. Probably my obsessive disorder, if I'm honest. And imposter syndrome, who knows? But this year, I've been hearing it. I've been taking it in.
2025 was so hard, but like, it had all of this sweet, good, like, proud, happy moments. And like,
yeah,
we are on the right path.
So this was one of the things that I was kind of hinting at before. This was one of the hardest years of our life because of the rug pulls, because of the indecision and the misinformation. And I'm not blaming, let's not blame anybody, but that made it really hard for us.
It did happen.
Yeah.
And was hard.
I think usually we would have just been like, we got to just do the bare minimum because we have all this other stuff going on and we need to focus on what we need to focus on. And instead, we were like, we're not only going to not stop these like extra things, these other things like pursuing our dreams where we need to and where we can, we're going to double down on pursuing them. Even with all this other stuff going on, the threat of homelessness and all this stuff, we were like, we can't change direction.
Yeah.
We have to just move forward.
Yeah.
And move forward with like what we're doing. And I think that's been part of what made this one of the scariest years. It was the combination, right, of doing these harder than we've ever done before craft fairs, doing the more work than we've ever done before with those, still working a regular job, and then also moving with your parents, packing their stuff, helping them emotionally regulate and like literally do physical labor and stuff most days, and then at the same time have all this other stuff that I had mentioned earlier, the rug pulls and the change and the indecision.
And we did not stop Sea Monster YK for a day.
Yeah, we kept everything up.
Yeah.
Even though it felt like we should drop something.
Yeah.
And we just didn't. We just decided no, which was an impossible decision to make, but it saved our lives. It saved my life.
Yeah.
If I didn't have Sea Monster YK to work on, even during all this, like, I don't know what I would have done. Like, when I was really struggling, that's when I started live streaming after Sketch-A-Day May, when we found out we weren't going to be able to move there. I think the next day, I was like, I'm doing a live stream.
Yeah.
And I basically have not stopped doing regular live streams since then.
Right.
And it's saved my life.
Yeah.
Like, and then there was one other thing. Oh, I think it's this year. We started watching The Simpsons from the first episode. Oh, yeah, it's definitely this year because we watched the first episode Christmas last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've been going through. We're on season 11.
Yeah, so definitely a sweet thing. But we are going to have more videos about our the things we have consumed and experienced this year, the trends that we've been following or noticing, movies, music, TV, YouTube, all the online things, everything. We're going to have a video of that coming up soon.
Yeah.
And
our predictions.
And our faves, our focus words, and our goals. So those are coming up soon.
Yeah, goals.
This video is probably super duper long.
Yeah, so if you made it this far, subscribe.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, please subscribe.
Yeah.
Tell a friend, because that's been really helpful to us.
Oh, yeah.
Oddfud is about to start doing a lot of more shorts. So if you are interested in that, please subscribe and get those shorts in your feed. And
if you're obsessed with this hand holding a pencil, envision that.
Hop on over to Sea Monster YK. Subscribe to Sea Monster YK. It's a new channel. So, like, you can be there in the ground floor. Bye-bye.